coming October 2nd from the new Chrysler Corporation. By Sony, which makes Trinitron, Betamax, and a full line of home audio products. Sony, the one and only. And by Allstate Insurance Companies. You're in good hands with Allstate. Bob Costas with Mike Hafner in Buffalo. And Mike, can the jinx end today?
I'll tell you what, Chuck Knox has had his time here in Buffalo, and I think this young club that he's built through the draft is ready to break that jinx, Bob.
Miami has won the toss. That's Nick Mickemeyer who'll kick it off for Buffalo. In three deep, Don Besselou, Tony Nathan, and Nick Giaquinto, with Nathan in the middle, but they kick it short. And it's taken by one of the up men across the 30-yard line where he's dumped.
Interesting kickoff, Bob. They put it in between the short man and the front man, and I think they're a little afraid of Tony Nathan. I've seen Tony do it when he was at Alabama. There's the starting offense.
Greasy's running backs, Williams and Howell. Howell in for Larry Zonka, who never signed after a contract dispute. Duriel Harris and Nat Moore, one of the deadliest of wide receiver duos in the NFL. Bruce Hardy is the tight end. Andre Tillman still bothered by a broken leg, sustained a year ago. And that offensive line is something we'll be talking about all afternoon. All kinds of juggling, a lot of unfamiliar names. Mike Hafner will tell us about it as the day moves along. From the 32-yard line, the first play from scrimmage of the 1980 season. And Greasy will give it to Delvin Williams, the former San Francisco 49er, to the 35. Followed a gain of 3. It'll be second down and 7. Steve Freeman from his strong safety spot made the stop, along with inside linebackers Shane Nelson and Jim Haslett. They play the 3-4 at Buffalo. Williams, Smerlis, and Hutchinson across the front. Lucius Sanford, Jim Haslett, Shane Nelson, and the former Ram All-Pro Isaiah Robertson are the linebackers. Mario Clark and Charles Romes, the safeties, or the corners, I should say. Steve Freeman and Jeff Nixon are the safeties. Second down and 7. Opening minute of quarter number 1. From the Miami 35. Greasy drops for his first pass of the season. Line gives him plenty of time. Stepping up and still looking. Greasy cut down at the line of scrimmage. It'll be third and 7. Scott Hutchinson got him from his right hand spot.
Good pursuit by the young guy Hutchinson. Also Ben Williams. They didn't give up. And I'll tell you, there was a test for Bob Greasy. All of his receivers were covered. And that's the thing that Greasy's going to have problems with today. That Buffalo defense isn't as bad as people remember. And if you can't get a receiver open, you can't complete them. I don't care how good a quarterback you are. Greasy not known for his scrambling now at 35 years old. He did it when he was younger. But there's that great pursuit that'll make it a tough day for Greasy if he can't get the receivers open.
The offensive line did give him time. The receivers were simply covered. The nickel defense is employed now by Buffalo. Third down, and they need 7. Greasy again with time. Over the middle, in and out of the hands of his intended receiver. Charles Romes was there to break it up. And Miami will have to punt.
Oh, quarterbacks don't like that, Bob, when the receivers drop the ball. That was right there. Nat Moore doesn't usually do it. There's Greasy again, and again that excellent pocket. You mentioned that he had the time, and he's got Nat Moore on that hookup pass in the zone. Nat, you got to catch those. Oh, Greasy will snare daggers at him for a couple series after that.
George Roberts is in now to punt. Third-year man from Virginia Tech. He's been consistent in his first 2 seasons, averaged 40.3 and 40.2. Kicks them high and generally with short returns. This is rookie Joe Cribbs out of Auburn. And Cribbs doesn't get too far. Shoved back at around the 27. Jeff Allen was in on the tackle. And a look at the Buffalo offense. Joe Ferguson, their quarterback. He has never tasted victory over Miami. Curtis Brown and Joe Cribbs, who displaced Terry Miller as a starting running back. Jerry Butler, Frank Lewis, the wide receivers, Reuben Gant, the veteran tight end. And there's the offensive line. Only Reggie McKenzie is left from the Electric Company, which once sprang O.J. Simpson loose for a 2,000-yard season. Conrad Dobler in at right guard in place of Joe DeLamielleure. On first down, Curtis Brown carries. The 3-4 defense of the Miami Dolphins. Den Herder and Betters are the ends. Bob Baumhauer went to the Pro Bowl last year as the nose guard. Kim Bocamper, also a Pro Bowler, one outside linebacker. A.J. Dewey converted from a defensive line spot on the other outside spot. Larry Gordon in place of the injured Ernest Rohn inside along with Rusty Chambers. We'll get a look at their secondary again following this play. It's 2nd down and 4. They keep it on the ground. Curtis Brown again, only a couple. It'll be a 3rd and short situation coming up for Joe Ferguson and the Bills.
You mentioned that defensive backfield. Don McNeil is a rookie, and I'll tell you what, when he matches up against Jerry Butler, the second-year man, that is going to be a matchup to watch today.
McNeil, a #1 pick out of Alabama. Gerald Small, Tim Foley, and Glenn Backwood are veterans. 3rd down, and we'll call it 2. We played 3 minutes of the first quarter. We have no score. The ball on the Buffalo 36.
I wonder when we'll see the shotgun first.
Gant, the tight end on the right side. Both wide receivers, Lewis and Butler, go left. They'll put it in the air on 3rd and 2. Swing it out of the backfield to Joe Cribbs, the rookie. He's got the first down and then some. Cribbs is out near midfield.
Great story on Joe Cribbs. He's the starting running back. He's beaten out Roland Hooks, and he's beaten out Miller, and yet he's returning punts and kickoffs, Bob, and we take a look at him now. Here's what you do on 3rd down in the NFL now. You don't run the football in short yardage. You throw it because they've legislated the pass into the game. They've destroyed the defense. And look at Cribbs. He's got that great quickness, the first step, and he's going to give Miami fits all day. But he's returning punts and kickoffs and also the starting running back, and the last guy to do that was Gale Sayers.
From their own 49, it's 1st and 10 for Buffalo. Joe Cribbs taking that job away from Terry Miller, who as a rookie 2 years ago gained over 1,000 yards. This is Cribbs, but he'll be spun down for a loss of 5. Kim Bocamper from the left side linebacker spot made the tackle.
You don't fool Bocamper too often on that quick swing pass. It's not a good idea to throw on first down unless you go downfield.
In the first quarter at Pittsburgh, Terry Bradshaw has hit Sidney Thornton with a 29-yard touchdown pass, and after less than 2 minutes, the Steelers are in front in that big one over the Oilers, 7-0 in quarter number 1.
Well, you remember the playoff game last year, and this is kind of a continuation of that one, and we'll be keeping our eye on that Pittsburgh-Houston game all day.
2nd and 15 from the 44. 10 minutes and 18 seconds to play in the first quarter. Ferguson back with time. Unloading right side, deflected and intercepted by Bocamper. It was intended for Butler. Bocamper now laterals the ball back.
That's Ortega that's
Ralph
got it
Ortega
now.
has it. And they're into Buffalo territory. So Bocamper picked off the ricochet, then lateral to Ortega for some extra yardage. Ortega, a former Atlanta Falcon, and on the turnover, Miami is in Buffalo territory.
And I'll tell you what, Jerry Butler, I think he's got a little bit of a complaint here. I don't mean to knock at Miami fans, but he might have got hit before the ball got there, and he complained a little bit afterwards. You see the ball bounce around. There's Bocamper with a pickoff, and shades of the Denver Broncos in the playoffs when they went to the Super Bowl. Now the defense is lateraling, and I have a lot of respect for Bill Arnsparger, the defensive coordinator, and I'm sure he doesn't like all this rugby stuff. You can fumble it right back to Buffalo again. But Ortega takes advantage of it, and now Miami has the best field position of the day.
We'll be back in just a minute with more action between Buffalo and Miami.
Michelob Light for the winning team, okay?
You guys would do that for us?
Would a bunch of guys really go at it this hard just for a beer? Well, consider it's Michelob Light, and that means a rich, smooth taste you can compare to any beer you like.
You guys never played like that before.
Hey, we never played for a Michelob Light before.
Michelob Light, compare the taste.
Yes, honey, I'll have a good dinner. Gotta go.
Tough case, huh?
Tough ain't the word.
Perez is back from Kentucky Fried Chicken. I'm starving.
Why Kentucky Fried Chicken?
It's a hard case. My men deserve a fresh hot meal.
Great chicken.
Great price.
Anything else?
His wife will kill him if he doesn't eat right.
It's so nice, nice to feel so good about a meal, so good about Kentucky Fried Chicken.
changes on that offensive line for Miami. Cleveland Green, untested, in at left tackle. Kuchenberg from guard to tackle. Ed Newman from left guard to right guard. Larry Little on the bench, the 14-year veteran not starting. And on this first down play, Greasy goes to the air and finds his man wide open. Duriel Harris inside the Buffalo 30 before Charles Rome stopped him. Harris, who caught 42 passes last year, an average of 19 a catch. 3 of them went for touchdowns.
Bob, there's what I talked about, throwing on first down. Don't throw the short pass. You want to go downfield because that's the big surprise on first down. And there's the master, Greasy. He fools me every time. I can tell you what most quarterbacks in the NFL are going to run. But an old number 12 in his Dolphin jersey fools me about 60% of the time. He's a whiz.
Completing those offensive line changes, Mark Dennard, a number 10 draft a year ago, replaces the great Jim Langer at center. He's retired. Third-year man Eric Loxo starts at right tackle. Delvin Williams carrying on first down and doesn't get too far, running into the middle of the Buffalo defense.
And maybe, Bob, with Little out of there, he has started all 20 games in that 20-game streak. Now that he's on the bench, maybe that'll give Buffalo a break.
Miami has lost 3 of their last 6 season openers. The 3 they won were all against Buffalo.
Isn't that interesting? I'm sure Buffalo wants to change that today, but they're going to have to stop Mr. Greasy and company, and right now they got tough field position.
2nd and 8 from the Buffalo 26, 8:45 to play in the first. Moore left, Harris right, and Greasy again to the air. Line gives him time, and Delvin Williams out of the backfield for first down yardage.
There's a pass you're going to see in the National Football League more and more this season, going to the backs. They've legislated the bump. You can only do it for the first 5 yards, and now you want to isolate that running back with the great speed on the linebacker. And you see the perfect shot of it here. Our crew at NBC always picks it up. Delvin Williams, 24, against the linebacker Haslett. And when you get that kind of speed mismatch, you're going to get backs open in the National Football League every play. And we'll see a lot of it.
They're at the 16 with 1st and 10 as we move inside, 8 minutes to play. In motion is Moore. The handoff is to Howell with his first carry, and Jim Haslett makes the tackle. Haslett, who was the AP Rookie of the Year defensively in the AFC a year ago.
What a great player he is. And then Shane Nelson on the other side was a free agent, and he's started every down for the Buffalo Bills in his career. It's incredible. Free agents can make it. I did it about 7 times with a lot of different teams.
In about 5 or 6 different leagues?
Really. Different continents and the whole thing.
2nd and 8 from the 14. Greasy with the air game, which has been successful so far. This time, and Ben Williams pulled him down. Buffalo gets their first sack.
And Greasy fumbled. And give Ben Williams the credit. Williams was awesome. Ripped him right down to the floor. Greasy lost the ball, and Buffalo recovered.
Scott Hutchinson from his right end spot came up with the recovery, killing the Miami threat after Williams came through with the sack. There's Williams, 77.
Watch him. I mean, he's just so strong. He's only got jersey in his hand. He rips him down. Hutchinson really stripped him of the ball, and then he scrambles along and makes a recovery. And, you know, we talked to the Buffalo people. They said that Hutchinson might not play. It might be Dwight. It might be White. But after that play, he might have sewed up his job.
Yankee in his 3rd year at the helm with Buffalo, 5-11 in 1978, improved to 7-9 a year ago. Before he left Los Angeles, he had won 5 straight NFC West titles with the Rams. Joe Ferguson pitches to Joe Cribbs, and the rookie is out to the 30-yard line for a gain of 5 or 6 on first down.
Rusty Chambers in on the stop. It's very hard to run wide against the 3-4. I don't think we'll see very many sweeps from either club today, Bob. But this Cribbs is something. Oh, he is just one incredible young man. Returning punts and kickoffs. He's got the great outside speed. He's got the strength to run inside. And he's going to give the linebackers of the very famous no-name defense of Miami a lot of work today.
One of those linebackers, Rusty Chambers, made the stop. He was the leading tackler for the Dolphins in 1979. 2nd down, and we'll call it 4. And again, they work the rookie Cribbs. He's close to the first down, but short of it by less than a yard.
Again, you get that look at Cribbs. He ran outside last time with the great speed. This time, the great balance inside gets the first down.
So they gave him the good spot and the first down. He was not short of it. They get the first down. First and 10 from the 34, and we have exactly 6 minutes to play in the first quarter.
I think you're right, Bob. I think they gave him the bounce afterwards. His knee touched, and they gave him the first down as a gift. That's a nice way to break in for a rookie.
Lewis comes wide to the right. Butler is wide to the left. Backs in the I formation, and they pitch it back to the rookie, Joe Cribbs. Cribbs looking for running room, but the Miami defense converges on him. Den Herter was there, and so was Chambers.
Joe Cribbs could carry the ball 25 times in this game if they keep this up. He could be an awful tired rookie at the end of the day.
Wayne Morris has scored on a 5-yard run in the first quarter in St. Louis, and the Cardinals, after 5 minutes of play, lead the Giants 7-0. Lynn Kane ran one in from 3 yards out for Atlanta. They lead Minnesota 6-0. Also, after 5 minutes of the first quarter, the point after touchdown for the Falcons was missed.
The bartender, Mazzetti, missed one, huh?
Second down. And 9 yards to go. Roosevelt leaks, running over people, then losing the football, but we'll see if they got the whistle before the fumble. Apparently so.
They said he was down. Good call. Excellent call.
Yeah, Roosevelt Leak says, hey, no problem.
He's a veteran. He's been around. Don't show those zebras that maybe I did fumble.
Hey, I knew the play was over. I just got rid of the ball. Leaks was waived by the Colts. Good acquisition for Buffalo.
Very true. In fact, the other fullback, Don Hardiman, was traded to the Denver Broncos during the draft, and of course they got Curtis Dickey, so they've got somebody to fill in over there in Baltimore. Just short.
So Roosevelt Leaks got a bit more than 9 yards on the play. There are the officials. Gordon McCarter is the man you'll hear on the microphone when penalties are called today. Speaking of which, Miami is not hit with many of those. They've been the least penalized team in the NFL for the last 4 consecutive seasons. Don Shula coaches them not to make mistakes.
Yes, he will not hold still for mental errors, and you don't play for the Miami Dolphins if you make it.
2 tight ends are in now in the short yardage situation, Reuben Gant and the rookie from Michigan State, Mark Brammer. Third down and about a foot from the 43-yard line.
Great time to throw the football, but they won't.
Ferguson thinks it's a great time for a quarterback sneak, and he gets the first down.
That's why I'm up here in the booth, and he's quarterbacking the club.
Oh, Bart Starr might have tried it. Or Johnny U.
Oh, yes.
So they have the first down, and there's Don Shula, who just this week signed a 3-year extension of his contract, the most lucrative for any coach in NFL history.
You saw the pregame show. I got a chance to talk to Don, and I'll talk to him at halftime if we get a chance to show you. And he's really in a rebuilding program. He didn't like that word, though.
20 draftees from the last 3 years are on the Dolphins' 45-man roster. Roosevelt Leaks carried. Vern Den Herter brought him down after a gain of nearly 5. You talk about Shula and a rebuilding program. His idea of rebuilding is to keep winning as he rebuilds. Twice in Dolphin history, he has started 5 rookies in 1 year on defense, and both those seasons his teams went 10-4.
Yes, and we got Bill Arnsparger as your defensive coordinator. You can almost play 11 Grandma Moseses, and they're going to stop you most of the time.
Joe Cribbs and Roosevelt Leaks are the running backs. Lewis and Butler the wide receivers. Lewis right and Butler left. On second down and 6, Joe Cribbs trying to vault over people. Picks up about 3 yards in the process, and he's into Dolphin territory. Bob Baumhauer hit him and stopped him. These same 2 clubs opened the 1979 season here. And in heavy rain, Miami beat Buffalo 9-7. The now departed Larry Zonka had a big game with 87 yards, including a fourth-quarter touchdown. On the last play of the game, Tom Dempsey, who shortly thereafter was cut as the Bills' place kicker, missed a 34-yard field goal attempt, which could have won the game. Then later in the year, they went to Miami, and the Dolphins prevailed 17-7. Zonka, again a big day, 90 yards on the ground. Tony Nathan, then a rookie, returned to punt 86 yards for the game-breaking touchdown.
We talked about Baumhauer on the nose. Watch that matchup between Baumhauer and Will Grant, who's getting his first start in the NFL at center. That's going to be a real war, and Baumhauer's winning so far.
They may have taken too much time.
Oh, yes, 30-second clock ran out. That's going to cost them 5.
It was 3rd and 3. It'll be 3rd and 8 now. They had brought in Roland Hooks as the extra running back, and we're going out of a wing formation on 3rd and 3.
Shotgun coming up. Anytime Hooks comes into the backfield, and you'll see him pull the tight end, They'll go to that shotgun. We may see it for the first time today, right now.
Why do you think it's taken another team so long to follow Dallas's lead?
Well, there aren't too many Joe Fergusons or Roger Staubachs around. And also, believe it or not, it's really tough to find a center that can make that snap, Bob. I mean, it's really important you don't fumble it, because then you blow all chances for a pass. Another thing, too, is you're telling the defense, we are going to throw the football. There is no threat of the run.
Ron Jesse, the 10-year veteran, acquired in a trade during the preseason with the Rams, is in as an extra wide receiver. He goes off to the left side along with Frank Lewis.
Hello, shotgun. There it is.
Lou Picone is also in at a wide receiver spot. He's off to the right. And from the shotgun, Ferguson, still pressured, over the middle and broken up. A flag, however, pass interference against the Dolphins. It was intended for Ron Jesse, and the veteran was interfered with. It'll be first down near the 35-yard line of the Dolphins.
And again, Bob, I told you earlier that I think Jerry Butler had a legitimate gripe on a pass interference play. Here, Ron Jesse was interfered with. There was no doubt about it. He grabbed a hold of him before the ball got there. And that'll give the Bills the first down, and the shotgun worked the first time out. First time out of the holster. Here's a look at it. Ferguson gets a quick look at the defense. That's the advantage of the shotgun. He's got Jesse coming underneath in that zone, and you'll see the defensive back just hanging all over him. And it was a good call by the back judge.
That was Ed Taylor, who was in as a nickelback in the passing situation. They spot the ball at the 38. This was the deepest penetration so far by the Buffalo offense. Curtis Brown carries and goes nowhere. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League, and it's intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Buffalo Bills and the National Football League is prohibited.
Interesting. First time we see the shotgun. There's a look at the Chicago score. Chicago and Green Bay.
Bob Thomas connecting from 42 yards out with 4 minutes and 40 seconds to play in the first quarter in that one.
Poor Green Bay. Boy, what goes around comes around. I remember when I worshipped the Packers. Now they can't win for losing.
Headaches for Bart Starr. And Joe Ferguson. He has all day. Dan Herter misses a shot at him. Ferguson scrambling, tucks it away. They have the first down. Sends to around the 20, fumbles as he's hit.
And I think Joe Cribbs fell on the ball. The rookie's doing everything. No, it's
Miami has it.
What a break.
Let's see who got it when they unpeel. I think it was Vern Den Herter, who showed some great hustle. First he missed a shot at the sack, and then he chased him all the way downfield. And after Ferguson coughed it up, Den Herter recovered the fumble to kill the Buffalo threat.
Give credit to those defensive backs from Miami. Small and Blackwood and Foley and McNeil obviously had all the receivers covered, because Joe couldn't find anybody. He had all day to throw. Now he's a great scrambler. He runs well, but you got to learn not to carry that ball like a loaf of bread. And watch him get this just stripped right out of his hands by the rookie, Don McNeil.
And Miami has it.
At about 4.
Hey, David, if we have time, why don't we see the play one more time then?
Sideline saying, if I'd have got that one, we'd had a shot at scoring. With a minute 36 to play in the first quarter, it's 1st and 10 from the Miami 22. Out of the backfield to Delvin Williams. And Williams does not get back to the line of scrimmage. Again, there's my example of a poor choice of a pass on first down. Go downfield when you've got them fooled on first down, and Delvin Williams gets nowhere on the short pass. Delvin Williams had a great year. The first season he came from San Francisco to Miami. He gained 1,258 yards in 1978, including 2 big games against Buffalo, 135 and 144 yards. Last season, when he missed a couple of games with cracked ribs, he slipped to 703 yards. And the 3-4 defense will stop you from gaining 1,000 real quick. 2nd and 11. And he got about 9 on that carry, out to the 30-yard line. That's where you got to run, Bob, against the 3-4 defense inside, and you've got to block those linebackers, and that's really tough to do. And again, you pointed out that the Miami offensive line is having some serious problems because it's really patchwork. But there's an excellent block
on the linebacker that time, and they'll spring you inside. Bob Kuchenberg, who ought to be able to block linebackers, has been in this league a while, opened up a nice hole for Delvin Williams, and that's the way to beat the 3-4. Inside, block those inside linebackers. 3rd down and 2, and this time Miami may have taken too much time. 30-second clock's right in front of him. Greasy ought to be able to see it. He's been around too long to miss that one. I think somebody jumped on the line, though. Yeah, Buffalo jumped outside. So that's going to give Miami a first down with just 13 seconds remaining in the first quarter. We mentioned all the patchwork being done along the offensive line for the Dolphins. The man in charge of that, along with head coach Don Shula, offensive line coach John Sandusky. And Ed Newman started 42 games. Let's listen to the boss.
Defense, first down.
Schmerlis, the nose tackle. Here's a good look at it. He's trying to anticipate the count. That's what you do with nose tackle. And he thought he saw a little twitch from Dennard, but the Zebras didn't see it that way.
1st and 10 Dolphins at their own 35. We're scoreless, and this might be the last play of the first quarter. Play action fake to Williams. Deep drop by Greasy. Bullet over the middle. Man is there. And a fumble as he's hit. Bruce Hardy, the tight end, coughs it up. And Buffalo has it at midfield.
I think Steve Freeman got it. And this is Fumble City here this afternoon. Must be the first game of the season, huh, Bob?
They're going to give the fumble recovery to Jeff Nixon, the free safety. Jim Haslett might have been the man who jarred it loose with the hit. Here it is again.
Bruce Hardy tries to do too much, Bob. He's got the first down. You don't have to worry about it. Look, he's wide open. He's beaten Shane Nelson. Now he tries to be Delvin Williams. And again, carrying it like and Haslett nailed him from the back.
Haslett knocked it loose. Nixon recovered it. It's Buffalo ball.
Good look at the fumble play. And again, Hardy's got to remember that he's not a running back. He's a tight end. He wanted the first down. He got it there. Now tuck that thing away, will you, Bruce, for crying out loud? And Haslett hits him right in the middle of the back. It bounces away. As you pointed out, it was Jeff Nixon, Johnny on the spot for the fumble, and that's the 3rd one we've had, and we've only played about a quarter of football.
Buffalo has 2 fumble recoveries. Miami has a fumble recovery and a Bo-Camper interception.
4 turnovers in a quarter, and that gives coaches gray hair, Bob.
The ball just across the 50 and into Miami territory. 4 seconds to play in the first quarter. Bob Costas along with Mike Hafner. Blitz. Ferguson will put it in the air against the blitz. He's got his man, Frank Lewis. Lewis for a gain of 18.
And give Joe Cribbs a lot of credit for picking up that blitz. Tim Foley was blitzing, and that left Frank Lewis wide open.
Last season, Frank Lewis caught 54 passes for more than 1,000 yards. Great year for him. And at the end of 1, we're scoreless. Ferguson breaks them out of the Buffalo huddle. A year ago, he was calling his own plays. This year, head coach Chuck Knox, in consultation with quarterback coach Kay Stevenson, sending them into Ferguson. But, of course, he has flexibility. He can audibilize at the line of scrimmage. 1st and 10 from the Miami 32. Hands the ball to Curtis Brown. And Brown, the 4-year man from Missouri, gets 3 or 4 yards.
Not often you see a 205-pound fullback. It's just not really what happens. Oh, look out for Pittsburgh.
The Steelers have struck again. Franco Harris from a yard out. 14-0 with 3 minutes and 47 seconds to play in the first quarter. And the Steelers looking to establish who's boss in the AFC Central right off the bat.
I thought Houston maybe would give them a run this year and have a real shot at the Super Bowl, but Bradshaw and company just won't let anybody take that away from them.
2nd down and a long 7. Opening minute of the second quarter. The rookie Joe Cribbs getting a lot of work, but not too many yards this time.
Again, Bob, I hate to keep pointing it out, but you can't run outside against a 3-4 defense. Those linebackers are so quick. They're probably as fast as Joe Cribbs himself, and it's very, very difficult to run outside against a 3-4.
Bo-Camper and Ortega on the tackle. And we might see the shotgun now. It'll be 3rd and 9. They lost a yard on the play.
Anytime you see Roland Hooks come in, Ron Jesse, here's again, over and over again, I'm going to point it out. You don't run outside against the 3-4. Those linebackers are just too quick. The pursuit's outstanding. And I'll tell you, Bo-Camper's not the guy to meet in the dark alley anytime. He'll nail you.
Frank Lewis is in motion, and Ferguson thinks they're not set properly. They were set up in the shotgun. And he has to expend a timeout here.
You see,
and he doesn't like it.
You see, Joe, what's going on here? Don't these guys know how to play?
We've got 13 minutes and 34 seconds to play in quarter number 2. No score. Back after this. So it's 3rd and 9 for Buffalo at the Miami 31. In 13 games in his career against the Dolphins, Ferguson obviously is winless, but he hasn't done that badly. 54%, 13 touchdowns, 12 interceptions.
Not his fault. It's the defense's fault.
As we told you at the top of the telecast, 20 consecutive Miami victories over Buffalo. Plays like that might change things. They may rule that he trapped it, though. Let's see if they'll give him the catch.
Oh, it was a good catch.
They do.
There's that shotgun again, Bob. You get a good, quick look at the way the defense is setting up. You can read zone, strong side, weak side, and find out right away where that open man's going to be. Look at Joe. He's looking right downfield now, and he's got it wide open.
Lou Picone made the catch. He had his biggest season in 1979, catching 33 for an average of 17 yards per grab.
You know what he's most famous for? He used to room with our Mike Adamle when he was at the Jets.
From the 16 on 1st and 10, they pitch it back to Curtis Brown. Brown switching directions. A loose football as he's hit. And Miami has it. That's the 3rd Buffalo turnover. 2 fumbles and an interception, and another threat dies.
I'll tell you what, both coaches' hair turned another shade of gray on either side of the field already with all these turnovers, Bob. It makes for sloppy football, and you can't get your confidence up.
Larry Gordon recovered the fumble. Curtis Brown was the man who coughed it up. We're coming back right after this. 1979 season, all of which Buffalo lost. Their offense produced only 1 touchdown, and turnovers like we've seen them be plagued with today. One reason why.
Demoralized you, I'll tell you, and you can't run wide. He tried to make more out of it than he could, and that's when you get the fumbles, and Larry Gordon was right there to pick it up.
Now from deep in his own territory with Nat Moore in motion. Greasy hands to Delvin Williams. Williams turns it around the outside and gets 6 or 7 before he's shoved out of bounds. First down so far. Buffalo has 5. The Dolphins have 3. Bills have 53 yards in rushing to Miami's 16. Miami has 41 passing yards to Buffalo's 25.
Give Kuchenberg the accolades for that gain. That old veteran, he pulled out that time, made the wide one go because he blocked the outside linebacker, and it's into the short side of the field, if you can call it that anymore with the moving of the hash marks. But that's the way to do it if you want to get outside quickly, and especially on first down.
2nd and 3 from the 22. This is Steve Howell. It'll be 3rd down coming up. Howell, the second-year man from Baylor, who has to fill the shoes of Larry Zonka. And Pittsburgh continues to pour it on. Matt Barr with a field goal from 27 yards out. 2:21 to play in the first quarter at Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh. It's 17-0 over the Oilers.
And you said the key, Three Rivers Stadium. Nobody likes to go there and play the Steelers. Snake pit.
New England jumps in front of Cleveland 3-0 on a John Smith field goal, 37-yarder, early in the second quarter. Howell goes out, and Tony Nathan is in at the other running back spot alongside Nick Giaquinto. A flag is down. The pass is complete on 3rd down. They have what they needed for the first, but let's see what the penalty was.
There's that illegal chuck. Oh, offside. That's the last time I guessed today.
Either way, it works out for Miami. They needed 4 for the first down. They got it by the pass. They would have had it through the penalty.
Number 77, defense, decline, first down.
'77 Ben Williams trying to get an extra jump. When you're in that 3-4, it's tough. You always have 2 people blocking on you in a pass situation. And you try and get a little extra edge, and they'll catch you jumping off sides every once in a while. Uh-oh, your Cardinals have been tied.
Giants coming back with a touchdown after St. Louis had jumped in front on a Wayne Morris run. Phil Simms hits Ernest Gray from 10 yards out. 3:33 to play first quarter. They're tied at 7 apiece. Minnesota back with a touchdown and a 7-6 lead over Atlanta. Tommy Kramer to Sammy White from 24. 4:54 to play in the first quarter in that one. Nat Moore is in motion. 1st and 10. Delvin Williams cut down. Isaiah Robertson flashing that old Pro Bowl for him.
I'll tell you, he was on a bit of a blitz that time, and even before Delvin Williams got the pitch, Isaiah's sitting there waiting for him. He's done it a couple times, and of course Chuck Knox had him at Los Angeles. They got in a little bit of a problem out there, and Chuck was happy to take him. And Isaiah's moved over to the weak side now where he belongs. Last year he played strong side linebacker, was a bit lost in the 3-4, but he's found a home now back on the weak side, and that proved it right there.
The ball back to the 22. It'll be 2nd down and 16. Exactly 11 minutes to play in the first half. We have no score. We've seen 5 turnovers, 3 by Buffalo, 2 by Miami. Greasy tries the middle and comes up with a completion, although not for much. That was Bruce Hardy, the tight end, with his 2nd catch. The first time he caught one, he wound up fumbling. San Francisco and New Orleans scoreless in the 2nd quarter, which is a surprise. Neither one of those teams plays great defense. Both have outstanding offenses. DeBerg at quarterback for San Francisco in Bill Walsh's pass-oriented attack, and Archie Manning, of course, for New Orleans. Green Bay comes back with a field goal and ties the Bears at 3. Chester Markole from 46 yards out.
That may be as close as Green Bay gets to anybody all year.
Now be nice.
Okay. Bart Starr's a good buddy.
3rd and 9 from the 29. Greasy uncorking one deep. There's a collision. No flag. Incomplete.
Duriel Harris with a nice acting job trying to pick up a flag, but
there is a flag, however, behind the line of scrimmage. No pass interference call, as Duriel Harris was tripped up with the ball in the air, but there is a penalty back near the line of scrimmage.
Oh, I saw Mike Kadish, the nose tackle, jump. He's replaced Smerlis at that nose tackle job, number 71, and I think he tried to get that edge again. Now, we couldn't see it quite on the replay, but Greasy knows. He saw the flag, and he knew that he could bomb away at it. See, they just tripped over each other, and both have a right to the path to the ball, so there's no flag there. Good call. Our replays at NBC kind of prove that those guys in the striped shirts are right 98% of the time. I never used to think that, though. It was always pass interference when I was playing.
That's Duriel Harris, number 82. And the stats on Greasy. It's 3rd and 4 from the 34, with 10-11 to play in the first half. Jimmy Cefalo is also in at a wide receiver spot. Greasy steps up into the pocket, and his pass is dropped. Tony Nathan out of the backfield. It would have been a difficult catch, but certainly not impossible. He probably should have had it, and the Dolphins will have to punt.
Give a lot of credit, though, to Williams and Kadish. They put a lot of pressure on Greasy, and he had to get rid of it before he wanted to, and that made it a tough catch for Nathan. He was wide open, though. Again, I told you, they're going to throw the backs a bunch.
George Roberts is in to punt. And the deep men are Lou Picone and Joe Krebs. Picone is closest to you. Picone with the fair catch at the 30-yard line. So Buffalo will have possession. We have exactly 10 minutes to play in the 2nd quarter, and no score at Rich Stadium in Buffalo.
Yankee ingenuity is still alive and well. You'll see it October 2nd on K-Day when Chrysler's K-Cars show up to take on the imports.
And they bask in the sunshine at Rich Stadium, something which will not be the case come November and December.
Oh, I've seen it snow here in September, Bob. It can get awfully cold. Just right on the snow belt. I can never figure out why they built the stadium here. But it's a gorgeous day today, as you pointed out.
And a sellout crowd. From just across the 30, rookie Joe Krebs carries for about 4 yards on first down. Both teams have been threatening all day, but turnovers have shut the door on them. 3 for Buffalo, 2 for Miami.
5 fumbles? Holy cow.
Actually, 4 fumbles and an interception.
Right. And that was a fumble in the air. They tipped it around for 20 minutes. Looks like both clubs are waiting for the roof to fall in on each other, and it keeps happening to both sides.
Krebs and Brown are the running backs. Lewis is wide left. Butler is off to the right. 2nd and 6 from the 35. Joe Krebs. Krebs with a first down. out to the 45-yard line. Tim Foley stopped him from his strong safety spot. Tim Foley and Vern Den Herter, the only defensive links remaining to the no-name defense of the Super Bowl years, 1972 and 3.
Joe Cribbs, that time, that wasn't really an outside run. They'd blocked both linebackers, outside and inside, and it gave Cribbs the big hole to get through. And as you mentioned, it had to be the offside defensive end to make the tackle and a safety.
And another Buffalo first down. They're piling up plenty of yardage, but so far no points. Ferguson, deep drop, plenty of time, swings it out to Curtis Brown. Brown dancing across the 45, but gains maybe a yard on the play, and that's all.
They're not listening to me about those short first down passes. They just don't work. Now watch, somebody will break a screen on first down for 90 yards and 6.
Doug Betters was in on that tackle, along with Tim Foley. When A.J. Dewey was injured last year, Betters moved in, took his starting job away, and now they have moved Dewey, who as a defensive lineman was the AFC's Defensive Rookie of the Year in 1977. They've moved Dewey to outside linebacker.
He couldn't gain any weight. He couldn't get any higher than 235, and you can't give it away to a 270-pound offensive tackle. So he's a linebacker.
Second and long. Ferguson with time, airs one out left side, deflected away from Frank Lewis. Gerald Small came over and got a hand on it. Tim Foley was also there.
Not a good choice to pass. He had the double coverage on Lewis, and I think Joe was trying to throw it away. He's in a hurry. He slips a little bit, and that throws his timing off. But you watch, he's throwing it right into the double coverage. They got a guy in back, guy in front. No chance for Frank Lewis. That's when receivers turn into defensive backs. You want to knock it away then.
So it's 3rd and 8 with 7:51 remaining, and they go into the shotgun.
Of course.
Picone is in as a third wide receiver. Ferguson fires one out. It's incomplete, intended for Picone. Glenn Blackwood, the free safety, was there with him along with Ed Taylor, and the fans are screaming that Picone was tripped up, but no pass interference call, and Buffalo is going to have to punt for the first time, and we see the rookie in to punt, Greg Cater.
They've had a succession of kickers here in Buffalo, I think 7 in about the last 5 years.
The last couple of seasons, it was Rusty Jackson.
Right.
He has departed in favor of Cater, a rookie from Tennessee, Chattanooga, who fumbles the snap but gets the kick away. It's a high boot from the 10th round draft choice, and a fair catch is made by Tony Nathan just across the 20-yard line. So now it'll be Miami's turn to try and break the scoreless tie. With 7 minutes and 39 seconds to play in the second quarter, we have no score. On 22-yard line, it's 1st and 10 for the Dolphins following the Cater punt. Punt carried 31 yards, but no return. So a reasonable debut for Cater there. Delvin Williams, brought down by Ben Williams.
Ben Williams having a heck of a day so far. Caused a fumble, running all over the field. That great pursuit of that 3-4 defense makes it tough to run. You got to block those linebackers.
You think the 3-4 is just a superior defensive alignment, period, or does it depend upon your personnel?
Definitely on the personnel. It's speed that makes the 3-4 work. We've got to have those great linebackers with the 4-6 speed.
They give Delvin Williams a gain of 1. Greasy drops the throw on 2nd down and 9. His line gives him time. He throws it over the middle, and a diving interception by Jeff Nixon. Nixon will bring it back into Miami territory to about the 33-yard line. That is the game's 6th turnover. Each team has 3. Each team with 2 fumbles and an interception.
No wonder the score's 0-0, Bob. Another look at Bob Greasy, and he's got Duriel Harris open over the middle, but you can see it slip off of his hand. And I'll tell you what, free safeties love it. I mean, they just sit back there, play center field, wait for the overthrow. Nixon was right there, dove to the ground, a great catch, and had the presence of mind to get up and move them in. If Buffalo doesn't score this time, we could be 0-0 for the next 6 weeks, Bob.
In which case, we'll both miss our plans.
Really?
With 6:49 to play in the half. from the 32 of Miami. Joe Cribbs fumbled, but I believe he recovered it himself, which is a refreshing change.
I mean, you could probably call for a turnover every third play, and we'd probably be right. 6 turnovers in the game already. I haven't even completed 2 quarters. Cribbs, you got to watch the ball, son. He's a rookie. He'll learn. But he did the second best thing. He recovered his own fumble. That's the running back's fault. He's got to take it from the quarterback. Most running backs will tell you that's not true.
They lost a yard on the play. It's 2nd down and 11. Ferguson. The catch made by Butler. Jerry Butler, who last year as a rookie was the AFC's Rookie of the Year with 48 catches, despite missing 3 games with a shoulder injury, had 4 touchdown receptions, all of them in 1 game against the New York Jets.
What a day he had then. Holy cow. Thank you, Dick Enbert, for the holy cow. I'll pay you your residuals later.
Don Shula along the Miami sideline. Had only 1 losing season in 17 campaigns as a head coach dating back to 1963 when he became the head man with Baltimore at age 33. Then the youngest head coach in the NFL. Ferguson swings one out to Cribbs, and Cribbs runs into Rusty Chambers. Don't forget Tuesday night on NBC Sports. It's Major League Baseball as pennant fever heats up with the LA Dodgers led by Steve Garvey taking on Joe Morgan and the Houston Astros. Or it'll be the world champion Pittsburgh Pirates and the Philadelphia Phillies. Prime time, Tuesday night here on NBC Sports. That's 8 Eastern time. Check your local listings for the game and the time, depending on your time zone in your area.
Oh, and NBC's got the World Series this year. It's going to be a great one no matter who gets there, Bob.
They got a yard to go on 4th down, and they elect to send Nick Mickemeyer in. He was 20 of 29 on field goal attempts a year ago. This is a 40-yard shot. Dan Minucci holding at the 30-yard line. The kick is away. The kick is good. And the Bills are on the board first. Nick Mickemeyer, the 8-year veteran from Temple, who last year replaced Tom Dempsey early in the season and had his best year since his rookie campaign with Atlanta. And he puts the Bills on the scoreboard and in front 3-0 with 4 minutes and 30 seconds to play in the 2nd quarter.
And I like the choice. It could be some criticism about not going for 4th and 1, but in a game like this, get on the board first. That really gives you an advantage. And I'm sure Chuck Knox is happy to be ahead 3-zip.
Don Shula. In 13 of his 17 seasons as a head coach, his teams have won 10 or more games. He has the highest winning percentage of any active coach. Counting playoff competition, it's .733. He is 4th on the all-time winning list behind George Halas, Curly Lambeau, and Tom Landry. Now Mickemeyer will kick it off following his 40-yard field goal. Moving up to take it is Tony Nathan. Nathan finding a little room. Good run back out to the 34-yard line. Decent field position for the Dolphins.
Anytime you get a kickoff return outside your own 30-yard line, you have been successful. And 34-yard line, that ain't bad. Nathan can do it.
Burned the Bills last year on a punt return, 86 yards.
He's been doing it for a long time. Bear Bryant picked him just for that reason, and he's carried it over into the pros.
There were some questions the past couple of years about the strength of Bob Greasy's arm. Off what you've seen today, are those questions answered for you?
No. He still can't throw the bomb like he used to. He's a 35-year-old now, Bob.
Delvin Williams and Steve Howell are the running backs. They pitch it back to Williams. Howell blocking in front of him. Gave him a good block. Williams gets about 4 yards to the 38. Williams is likely to see a whole lot more work in 1980 than he did in 79. The emphasis shifted to Larry Zonka last year. Zonka gone in a contract dispute. Young Steve Howell taking his place. Williams again the #1 man in the Dolphin backfield.
There's an example again of the 3-4, the 2 inside linebackers, Shane Nelson and Haslett. And it's very, very tough to run when you don't block those inside linebackers. They're going to be in your face all day.
2nd and 6. from the 38 with 3:40 to play in the first half. Griese will put it in the air. His line giving him plenty of time. His man is wide open, Nat Moore. There's a first down in Buffalo territory. Shoved out around the 44. Mario Clark on the coverage.
And again, as you pointed out, Bob, give credit to that Miami line. If you give Bob Griese 5.5 seconds to throw the ball, he's going to complete it. There's Griese again. Standing all alone, not a soul around him. And I think Nat Moore can get open, don't you? He's been getting open for 7 years and wide open. And again, that time, give your receiver to run a couple of moves and to find a hole in the zone, Nat Moore will get open every day of the week.
First and 10 at the 44-yard line of Buffalo. Fake to Delvin Williams. Deep drop by Griese. Pressure on, they got him. All the way back to the Miami 48, a loss of 8. Let's pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
Bob, there we go again. We get the opposite side. No protection that time. Griese has to go down. The time before he gets 5 seconds, and it's an easy completion.
Bob Costas along with Mike Hafner. Rich Stadium in Buffalo, New York. Turnover-plagued first half. Each team has given the ball away 3 times. Buffalo has drawn first blood on a 40-yard field goal from Nick Mickemeyer. Second down and 18 yards to go for Bob Griese and the Dolphins. He finds Williams. Williams finds Isaiah Robertson, bounces off of him, but then Charles Romes runs him out of bounds.
Again, an outstanding pass rush, Bob. Mike Tadish in there again, Williams. And Griese had to dump it quickly because the pressure was coming, and he gets nothing out of the pass completion because he had to dump it so quickly.
They get back to the 48-yard line of Buffalo. It'll be third down. Scoreboard says 15, and we'll go with that. 2 minutes and 51 seconds to play in the first half. Jimmy Cefalo is in at wide receiver. Bruce Hardy, the tight end, is out. They go with 3 wide receivers, Moore, Cefalo, and Harris.
Here's where Griese used to run the draw play to Zonka, and he'd get 20 yards, but the Zonka isn't here anymore.
So Griese will put it in the air. Pressure on him again. They got him. Fred Smerlas reached out with one hand and yanked him down.
Fred Smerlas lifts weights. He's one of the strongest defensive linemen, not only with the Bills, but in the National Football League. And you saw that strength. All he had was a handful of jerseys and ripped Griese down like he was a rag doll.
So George Roberts will make his 3rd appearance of the day, and he'll punt it away for Miami. Buffalo will still have 2.5 minutes with which to do something. Joe Cribbs is in single safety, standing around his own 20-yard line.
Too bad they have outlawed the tearaway jersey. Griese might have got away from a couple of those sacks.
Big rush on. They almost got it. Cribbs calls for the fair catch, juggles it, and holds on.
Oh, the rookie's heart was in his throat when that one popped up.
Lou Picone was right in George Roberts' face as he got the kick away. I don't know how Picone avoided running into it.
Excellent job. Let's take a look at it. Picone, the Superman on special teams, and he takes the perfect angle so he doesn't... Oh, right over the top of his head. Picone, you're lucky. Could have been a flag on that one.
Lou Picone, a very popular player, was so with the Jets, is here in Buffalo, wide receiver who caught 39 passes last year, plays the special teams, returns kicks. From West Liberty State.
And they say 5'9", and if he's 5'7.5", it might be lucky.
2 minutes and 11 seconds to play in the half. Joe Cribbs, they're going to find out what he can do early.
Not outside.
Dolphins are roughing him up pretty good.
Welcome to the NFL, rookie.
Verndon Herter gets credit for the tackle, and the clock stops with the 2-minute warning. The Bills got a couple of minutes here, Mike, to try and add to a 3-0 advantage.
And I'll tell you, the shotgun's been very, very successful, although they've got their regular running backs in there now. And Although, when Ron Jesse comes in, you'll know that the shotgun is ready, and I see him standing on the sideline, so maybe if they don't make it this time, they'll go back to it. But here's the perfect time to run the 2-minute offense. They've got 2 minutes to go, a 3-point lead. You don't want to throw the interception, but you want to put some points on the board because 10-0 could win this one.
For years, I've heard Joe Ferguson referred to as the most underrated quarterback in the NFL. Is that an accurate description?
Yes, it is. And it's unfortunate that they've had no defense here in Buffalo. I mean, Buffalo loses game 37-35, 24-23. Joe does his job, and they can't stop the other team.
They go to the shotgun on 2nd and 11. Ferguson looks right and then left, and he finds his man, Jerry Butler, at the 36. Check it, it's Joe Cribbs, the running back. Cribbs came out of the backfield and made the reception. Larry Gordon tackled him from his right side linebacker spot.
There's a look at the shotgun, and then they're in the hurry-up offense. But again, you've got 5 receivers downfield, and all Joe has to do is find the hole in the zone, and he did with Cribbs, and the youngster can do it all.
First down from the 36. Cribbs again on a swing pass. Cribbs across the 40, across the 45, out near midfield. Joe Cribbs finally stopped at the 49. Glenn Blackwood made the tackle.
Boy, and there's the perfect call. 2nd and short. Now you run the swing pass, not on first down.
Buffalo just used a timeout. They have 1 remaining. Miami has all 3 of theirs, which is irrelevant at this point.
Remember, Joe Ferguson had to use that timeout when they got mixed up on that one play. Boy, and you'd like to have those back. You don't want to make those mistakes. Now he's down to 1, and they may need 1 more because they're right at the 50-yard line.
They've got 1 minute and 22 left. Chuck Knox sending Joe Ferguson out there with some instructions. Last year, Ferguson threw for 14 touchdowns, had 15 intercepted. His best year, perhaps 1975, 25 scoring passes.
And again, in defense of Joe Ferguson for those 15 interceptions, he was always playing catch-up. He was trying to bring his team back from 2 touchdowns down, 10 points down, and when you try to force it in the NFL, you're going to get them picked off.
A sign hanging from the seats behind one of the end zones says, "Please," an obvious reference to the 20-game Buffalo losing streak against Miami. They haven't beaten the Dolphins since November of 1969, and this nonsense has to stop sometime.
They got a shot today. This is a whole different Buffalo Bill team than I've seen in the past 4 or 5 years.
Again out of the shotgun. Ferguson with his man wide open. It's Joe Cribbs again, the rookie from Auburn, and he gets out of bounds. So he showed good presence of mind and picked up big yardage.
You like those moves from a 21-year-old rookie? He just faked that Miami Dolphin right out of his shoes, picked up a first down, and got out of bounds. To stop the clock, didn't have to waste the timeout. Smart kid.
With 1:14 left, he's got Terry Miller bolted to the bench right now. Miller, #1 pick a few years ago from Oklahoma State. He was a Heisman candidate in college, gained over 1,000 yards as a rookie, slipped last year. Now he's talking about wanting to be traded.
Yes, called me in the summer. I watched him grow up in Colorado Springs. Said, "Mike, how can I get to the Denver Broncos?" which is out in my area. I said, "Well, if the Broncos had a cornerback to trade to Buffalo, you might be out there, but not very soon."
From the Miami 41 on 1st and 10. Out to Cribbs again, out of bounds again. Stopping the clock with 1:08. That took all of 6 seconds. Kim Bocamper gets credit for the tackle.
Right down number 20 in white, Miami fans. You're going to hear a lot about this youngster.
Let me throw a name at you. See if Cribbs reminds you of this guy, Terry Metcalf.
Oh, right on the button. Lots of moves, great pass receiver, can run outside and inside, great balance. That's a good comparison, Bob. Very good.
They got 9 on the play. It's 2nd down and 1 from the 32. They're within Mickemeier's field goal range right now. Roosevelt leaks. The big back has come in the short yardage situation. They give it to Roosevelt. He's hit immediately, trying to drag the tackler Larry Gordon with him. The clock's stopping. No, still moving. Inside a minute to go.
They're in the hurry-up offense. No, he's going back to huddle.
I thought for a moment they'd stop the clock to call for a measurement, but they say clearly no gain. So it's 3rd and 1 with the clock moving. Buffalo has 1 timeout left.
And they won't waste it, Bob. Now they're in field goal range, and they're going to save it for the opportunity for a field goal.
Butler right, Lewis left, leaks again, got the first down, finds running room, Roosevelt leaks. Now we're inside inside 30 seconds. 28, 27, 26,
He won't
25.
call timeout either, Bob. They're going to hurry up.
Down to the 17-yard line.
Throw it out of bounds, Joe. That's the way.
That's what he does to stop the clock with 13 seconds left. So they still have the timeout. They have the ball at the 17, and they have 13 ticks of the clock to work with.
Now Joe Ferguson has got a chance to throw 2 passes that he can possibly get touchdowns on. If it happened to be complete inside the 2, he's still got his 1 timeout left so they can line up for the field goal. I just think he looked over to the bench for some encouragement. Uh-oh, flag on the field, huh? I think
they may have, in their haste to set up quickly, they may have set up illegally. Somebody may have jumped offside.
Illegal formation.
Good call,
the
Bob.
end was not up on the line of scrimmage on the right side.
Bob, you got sharp eyes. My compliments.
Gordon McCarter, the referee, announcing the call, but the Bills are still in good shape. This is a chip shot still for Mickemeyer.
Don't tell him that, though. He might have hooked one over into the sideline. There are the penalties. Buffalo 4 for 20, and again, that excellent Miami team, only 1 penalty. That pass interference.
Okay, it's first down now, 15 yards to go from the 22, 13 seconds left. There you see the time on the top of your screen. Ferguson falls down. They got to use the timeout right now.
There's the rookie center. Will Grant got his foot caught up in his center's stance. Fell right on his duff. Boy, he embarrassed after that.
Well, on a quarterback sack, there's an automatic timeout in the last 2 minutes of any half, but that's only a timeout for enough time to set up. Then they'll start the clock again. So there's 9 seconds left. Buffalo still has their timeout remaining.
But they got called for too much time. It didn't make any difference whether Joe fell down or not. He let the 30-second clock run out. It's going to cost him 5 more yards. But again, they're still in field goal range. Take a look at Joe. See catch on his center's foot there? I'll tell you what, Will Grant, the first-year starter, first-game starter in the NFL, has got to learn not to back up. It's very important to take 1 step forward so you don't step on your own quarterback, and there it cost him. He'll learn, though.
So now the ball is at the 27, and if they gain no more yardage, we're talking about a 44-yard field goal, which might be a different story. They'd like to complete a sideline pattern. They still have the timeout left, so they could go over the middle and call the quick timeout, but they'd like some more yardage before bringing Mickemeyer on.
Miami will protect the sideline, so he's got to go over the middle here. If he throws it outside, he could get it picked off.
Down the left sideline, intercepted. Gerald Small intercepts. The half will end on this play, and so will a Buffalo threat.
I told him not to go to the sideline.
A disgusted Joe Ferguson shows his emotion. That was the 4th Buffalo turnover of the half, the 7th turnover by both teams combined. And despite the fact that they take a 3-0 lead into the locker room, the Bills here booze at Rich Stadium. That's the end of the first half with the score. Buffalo 3 and Miami 0.
Odds are you sell your house faster if you tell more people about it. That's what this machine does. Like any agent, I find buyers locally, but I can also send a picture and description of your house to buyers in any one of our 4,000 offices. It's like a national multi-list, and only ERA has this system. Think about the odds and then call us. We can find more buyers. That's another reason your ERA real estate specialist is the person you need to know in real estate.
This Bud's for all the people who make the sidelines a part of the show.
This Bud's for you. For all you do, the king of beers is coming through.
Yeah, just for you, that distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
For all you do.
This Bud's for you.
Down there is Miami Beach, a vacation mecca for millions.
I'm Ed Newman of the Miami Dolphins, and I want to show you a part of Miami Beach people seldom see. This is it, South Miami Beach. It's not much to look at, but it's home to Fanny Pressman. She's 82 years old now. She lives here all alone. Over 18 million people live on a small fixed income, and it's not easy, I can tell you. She still gets a big kick out of life, though, thanks to some nice people from the Jewish Senior Center. This is an agency supported by United Way and run by United Way volunteers. Every morning they pick her up and take her to her friends. She plays cards, gossips, sings, has a grand old time. My grandmother used to say that if you give love, it'll come back to you. And that's a philosophy I agree with.
Well, that's the kind of philosophy I live with, son.
United Way works here in Miami. Thanks to you, it works for all of us. United Way.
Back at Rich Stadium in Buffalo, we're at the half on the strength of a Nick Mickemeyer field goal from 40 yards out late in the second quarter. The Buffalo Bills lead their old nemesis, the Miami Dolphins, by a score of 3-0. Bob Costas along with Mike Hafner. In a way, Buffalo, I guess, has to be happy. They've had so much difficulty handling this Miami club that a lead of any kind has to be a pleasant surprise. On the other hand, it could be much more.
Oh, it could be much, much more for Buffalo, but I think the encouraging thing is, Bob, that there hasn't been any defense in Buffalo for the last 6 or 7 years since O.J. was here, and to hold the Miami Dolphin club to no points in the first half has got to be very encouraging.
We're going to break away here for just a moment and be back and give you a rundown on some scores of other games. NFL 80 halftime activities will continue in a moment. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station.
On Disney, Daring Do with Mickey Mouse and his pals, Mickey's Greatest Adventures. Then on Chips, can Ponch and John learn the real cause of Bonnie's accident? Then it's television's Night on the Town when all your favorite primetime stars shine their brightest. Don't miss the 1980 Emmy Awards right after Disney and Chips Sunday.
Hey, Anderson, I hear you're contacting your smaller customers once a week.
That's right.
That doesn't sound very profitable. I mean, your entire sales force spending all that time on so little business?
Not our entire sales force, just one guy.
One guy?
Sure, young Baker here.
Oh, yeah, those little accounts add up to big money when you handle them by long distance.
Looks like you could use a little long distance yourself.
Long distance. It's the way to get things done today.
This is week number 1 of the NFL season. We'll try to get you all caught up. The big game of the day happening at Three Rivers Stadium, a matchup between the Houston Oilers and the Pittsburgh Steelers. And that noise you may have heard up in Buffalo may well be the Houston bubble bursting. It has not been the kind of day Kenny Stabler expected, not been the kind of day the Houston Oilers expected. Pittsburgh out in front 17-0, and Steeler fans could be excused if they're already making their reservations for New Orleans in January. The Steelers have been that impressive. Terry Bradshaw has definitely gotten his act together in Pittsburgh at the head of an attack that has been simply awesome today. Early on, he hit Sidney Thornton, first score of the game. Pittsburgh was the first team to score this year, the last team to score last season. Thornton having himself a good afternoon. This run set up a second touchdown by Franco Harris. That one made it 14-0. Franco, by the end of the day, will be the third leading rusher all-time in NFL history, trailing just Jim Brown and O.J. Simpson. When he can't get it on the ground, Terry Bradshaw goes up top. John Stallworth has been John Stallworth all day. That one just there with Lynn Swann set up another field goal to make it 17-0. On the other hand, Kenny Stabler has had his problems. 5 for 19 for just 22 yards. 4 interceptions with still some time left in the half. It has not been a good day for the Snake or the Houston Oilers. Again, 17-0, time running out in the second quarter. In New England, Cleveland Browns have yet to get on the board. The Patriots rolling it up there, 13-0, a pair of John Smith field goals of 35 and 37 yards, and a Steve Grogan 10-yard touchdown strike to Harold Jackson. That was for Jackson, his 500th career reception. Ball game you're watching, Buffalo against Miami, of course, is Buffalo out in front 3-0. Nick Mickemeyer doing all the damage with a 40-yard field goal. Buffalo hoping to stop a 20-game losing streak at the expense of the Dolphins. Cincinnati and Tampa Bay. This one going on in Cincinnati. The Buccaneers trying to prove that they're for real. Cincinnati trying to prove that last season was a fluke. The game right now is tied at 3-3 in the second period. Pair of field goals, Garo Yepremian and Ian Sutter. The Giants and St. Louis, two teams who figure to be among the also-rans in the NFC East, are going at it. This is in the second quarter. Ball game right now tied at 14-all. A 10-yard touchdown by Wayne Morris has tied that ball game. Pittsburgh as we noted, out in front of Houston, 17-0 in the second quarter. Let us go to Three Rivers Live and join Dick Yenberg and Merlin
during this day has been nullified by a penalty, and every possible bounce of the ball has gone against them. I guess maybe Bob Phillips would tell you they're testing us. They're seeing if we can handle all this adversity.
Yeah, in a way, you look at this first half, Merlin, and 17-0 seems rather light in regard to the dominance of the Steelers. They could be ahead by almost twice that much.
Well, I think the statistics will show that it has not been any kind of a ball game statistically, and of course the score.
Offense, still third down.
The score, by virtue of penetration field position, could well have been worse than it is.
Leon Gray ticketed with a hold. 3 times an All-Pro and All-Pro last year. Let's see that juggle by Blunt. He's got the interception. Whoops, bobbled it right to Carpenter, but it doesn't count. Pump, and then over the middle to Carpenter. Oh, he almost threw it in the arms of 51, Lawrence Hayes. Well, that's an appropriate way for the final scrimmage play for the Oilers. They've been doing it the entire half. You know they've got to hang on to more the second half. And if Stabler can get out of this first 30 minutes down by only 17, who knows? But it has been all Pittsburgh.
Dick Yenberg said it properly. It has been all Pittsburgh. Bad day for the Snake in Houston. Minnesota out in front of Atlanta in the second period. That one standing at 14-6. Kramer has thrown a touchdown pass to Sammy White. New Orleans against San Francisco, who figure to be among the at least San Francisco figures to be among the also-rans of the NFC West. Tied at 7-7. Tony Galbraith, a 1-yard run for a touchdown. Rookie Earl Cooper, a 2-yard run for San Francisco. And Green Bay out in front of Chicago in the second period, 6-3. Still to come later today right here on NBC. Don't forget it's a doubleheader week. Colts will be going against the Jets. The Broncos taking on the Eagles in Philadelphia. Raiders and Chiefs renew acquaintances. And out on the coast, it'll be the Chargers and the Seahawks. You're all caught up. Let's go back to Rich Stadium. Bob Costas and Mike Hafner.
This 1980 National Football League game is brought to you by the new K-Cars, Dodge Aries K and Plymouth Reliant K, coming October 2nd from the new Chrysler Corporation. By the Schlitz Malt Liquor Bull, more taste than beer, more quality ingredients than premium beer. Don't say beer, say Bull. By America's full-service bankers, ready to serve you where you see this symbol. And by Ryder Truck Rental, the best truck money can rent. We're back at Rich Stadium in Buffalo, New York. We're at the half. The Bills are in front of the Miami Dolphins, 3-0. Bob Costas along with Mike Hafner. And one of the big stories this week concerning the Miami Dolphins, the signing of Coach Don Shula to a new 3-year extension of his contract as general manager and coach of this very successful franchise. Before the game today in Buffalo, Mike Hafner had an opportunity to visit with Shula and talk with him about this year's installment of the Miami Dolphins. Here's Mike's interview with Don. Apologize. Apparently we lost the audio on the interview with Don Shula. So right now we'll be back in Buffalo in just a moment. National Football League action will continue with the second half kickoff at Buffalo with the score, the Bills 3 and Miami 0.
Any last requests? I'll have a beer.
Costas along with Mike Hafner. We apologize that the sound wasn't available on the interview which Mike did before the game with Don Shula. Mike, what was the content of that interview? What did he have to say?
Pretty much that this is a very young football team. Obviously, his fullback-oriented offense is gone with the likes of Larry Zonka moving down the road. But he said he doesn't like the word rebuilding. He likes to rebuild and win, as you pointed out, the first half. And that he felt that with 3 great years of drafts in the past 3, that this club wouldn't be very far away from, again, contending for the AFC East title. And I tend to agree with him. I think it's up for grabs. And he's very confident that his young people and his defense will carry him a long, long way. They've done it before. And he was also very happy to see Bob Griese come back and wrest the quarterback job away from the others who were pushing him.
You know, Don Strock will be 30 in November. has been a class guy about this entire situation. He has stepped in, performed very capably as a relief man for Greasy whenever the occasion arose. Now, this is a cliche, but you know it applies in his situation. He is indeed good enough to start for any number of other clubs, and yet as his career goes on and he goes past the 30 mark, he remains a second stringer. He's got to be getting impatient.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. Although, on the other hand, if I had to pick a job in the National Football League, it'd be backup quarterback, because you can make a lot of money and get no pressure, and the fans scream for you all the time when the starter doesn't do well. Usually you come in a situation where it's a no-win situation. You're down a bunch or way ahead. And so you may be right. I can see down the road where Don Strock might start to say, play me or trade me.
Let's take a look at the stats for the first half. Buffalo with twice as many first downs, 4 times as much yards rushing, about twice as many yards passing, more than twice as many total yards, 11 of 16 for Ferguson, 8 of 11 for Greasy. The turnovers, the big stat for both teams, 4 for Buffalo and 3 for the Dolphins.
Easily could have been 24-21 at the half instead of 3-0. With those turnovers for both clubs, they were in drives that should have gotten them points somewhere, and they're going to have to stop the turnovers in the second half. One or the other club expects to win.
And the troubles, which began toward the end of last season for Buffalo, continue. They were 7-6 last year after 13 games, and still in the playoff chase, at least for a wild card spot. They wound up losing their last 3 games in succession at the close of the regular season, scored only 1 touchdown in those 3 games. They have not scored a touchdown despite threatening several times in the first half here today.
They're going to have to get that offense cranked up, but again, as I mentioned in the halftime show, that their defense has now surprised. After 5 years, they've got a club that can shut somebody out for a half, and that's going to be very, very important. I have a lot of faith in Joe Ferguson in this offense, especially with the addition of Cribbs and Ron Jesse and people like that that can make this offense go. They'll work out those problems with the fumbles and the interceptions, and this will be a club to contend with. They can push the Jets or Miami or New England or anybody for this division title.
Getting back to Miami for just a moment, as you look at Chuck Knox along the sideline, the head coach of the Buffalo Bills. With Zonka gone, I guess they wish that they had drafted a running back this year. They had 13 draft choices, did not select a running back with any of them. The first time in the history of the Dolphin franchise that they have not selected a running back, at least one of them, in the draft. Uwe von Schamann booms one into the end zone, and Joe Cribbs decides to stay right there. They'll bring it out to the 20 on the touchback to begin the second half.
Interesting, Don Besselou has been kicking off a bit for Miami. Did it in the preseason, and I thought maybe von Schamann wasn't going to have that job, but there he was, booming it in the end zone. When you do that, the special teamers love you. They don't have to make the tackle. They don't have to bust the wedge. I played too many special teams not to know about kicking it off out of the end zone.
So we'll have the first play from scrimmage in the second half. Buffalo leads it 3-0. Mickemeyer from 40 yards. That was all the scoring in the first half. Lewis is wide to the left. Jerry Butler is wide to the right. Cribbs and Curtis Brown are the running backs. Ferguson hands to Curtis Brown, and the Dolphins hold a team meeting on his body. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Bob Baumhauer in the middle. Oh, goodness. A.J. Dewey. What a great defense. And Bill Arnsparger again. He and Joe Collier out in Denver, who really started the 3-4. Both of them, I guess, get credit. 2 of the finest defensive coordinators. And despite the talent, they're going to stop you every day of the week.
A.J. Dewey was in on that tackle. Interesting story regarding his switch from the defensive line to outside linebacker. Chuck Otterson, a sports writer with the Palm Beach Post, suggested that move to Don Shula. And Shula said, hey, I'll try anything. It's worth a try. And Otterson's move has worked out. Here's Joe Cribbs trying to come wide. Gains only a couple. It'll be 3rd and long, and we might see the shotgun again from Joe Ferguson and the Bills. Bob Baumhauer stopped it.
First time a sports writer's ever made a suggestion that worked. They're usually on the coach or on a player or whatever.
We've got 13 minutes and 54 seconds to play third quarter. It's 3rd down and 7. In just a moment, we'll be going to NFL 80 in New York and get an update on what's going on elsewhere. Third down and 7. Bob Costas with Mike Hafner in Buffalo, and Joe Ferguson trying to hit his rookie running back, Joe Cribbs out of the backfield, incomplete, and Buffalo is going to have to kick. We welcome those of you who have been watching NFL 80. Updating the situation here in Buffalo, it is 3-0 with 13 minutes and 26 seconds to play third quarter. Buffalo in front of Miami on a Nick Mickemeyer field goal of 40 yards late in the second quarter.
And I'll tell you, Buffalo again stalled, and now Miami has got to take the force on offense.
Nathan back deep for Miami. Tony Nathan is the deep man, awaiting the kick by Greg Cater. And that kick, partially blocked, scooped up by one of Buffalo's up men, Shane Nelson. It's going to be Miami ball in Buffalo territory. There are flags down all over the place.
Well, that was mass confusion, Bob. Cater that time got a good snap, but he fumbled it around and couldn't get set to take his two steps. Let's take a look at him right here. Oh, he got a short hop. Now he's fumbling it around, and that gives Miami a chance. Now he almost drops the thing, and he kicks it off the point, and I think it was a bit, somebody got a hand on it at least. And it turns out to be an awful punt. Miami's going to get the ball.
Referee Gordon McCarter is going to sort this thing out for us.
I guess he's not.
Miami has it just outside the 26-yard line of Buffalo, following the partially blocked kick from Greg Cater. A chance to either tie or go ahead. Steve Howell. And Howell runs over people. Howell, looking like Larry Zonka, is inside the 10.
They needed something like that. That's Don Shula's offense, that fullback-oriented running play.
If you had made that 39 instead of 36 and you weren't watching closely, you might have thought it was Zonka.
Exactly. Take a look at him here. It's the same way Zonka ran. Straight forward, lowers the shoulder, got the great center of gravity. Watch him run over people right here. Good spin-out move by Howell. It's not Larry Zonka, but he sure looked like him on that play.
It's first and goal from the 9-yard line. Delvin Williams with a couple. Maybe not even that. Let's give him one on the play. 12.5 minutes to play third quarter. 3-0 Buffalo. Chicago and Green Bay tied at 3 apiece at halftime.
That may be our score here in a couple minutes. Again, I've been impressed with this Buffalo defense. And maybe it's taken Greasy a half to get cranked up. I'll watch for a tricky play-action pass here to get him in the end zone.
From the 8, it's second and goal. Greasy likes that quick slant, especially to Nat Moore, who's on the right side, number 89. Over the middle, broken up at the goal line. It was intended for Duriel Harris, and Charles Romes got in there.
Great play by Romes. He smelled it out. He heard you, Bob. That quick slant pass. Harris had no chance because Romes was right there to knock it away.
Jim Haslett was putting big pressure on Bob Greasy as he tried to set up.
And again, the pressure on Greasy made him throw quickly, and you'll see that he had somebody right in his face, and Romes makes the great play. Stuck his hand in there and kept it away from Harris, had an automatic touchdown if Romes wouldn't have been there.
So it's third and goal. And if they don't come through here, we'll see Uwe von Schamann with his first field goal try. The ball is just outside the 8-yard line. Tony Nathan and Nick Giaquinto are the running backs. Action along the line of scrimmage. Greasy completes the pass. The flag is down as Nathan is spun down at the 6-yard line.
The flag's all over the field, Bob.
Lucius Sanford made the tackle.
Offside again against Buffalo. They've been trying to get that edge all day, and it's cost them every time. What a break on third down. Gives Greasy another shot.
Gordon McCarter will make it official. It's going to be third and goal from inside the 5. McCarter talking it over with Greasy.
Offside, number 57, defense, repeat, third down.
Lucius Sanford tried to get the edge on the blitz from the linebacker spot. There he is. Dangling the arm over that neutral zone.
What do you look for now?
Got to throw the ball from the 4-yard line, Bob. Against the 3-4 goal line defense, there's no way you can run it in.
Harris to the right, Moore to the left. Giaquinto and Nathan are the backs behind Greasy. Long count. 3rd and goal. Into the end zone. Touchdown, Tony Nathan.
Hello, quick post. And there's that back out of the backfield. They saw the blitz coming. They blitzed last time with the linebackers, and Nathan was wide open. Good call by Greasy, and he read it well. Take a look at Bob. He sees, first of all, the linebacker coming, Lucius Sanford, so he knows that Nathan's got nobody covering him, and you can see the result. Not a soul around him, and Nathan just prances in and says, hello, we're in the lead.
So Greasy with his first touchdown pass of the year, the 187th of